This new Way 200 Betting Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN.
Drivers, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Today is a standalone Xfinity episode because, Cody, we got plenty of good stuff going on before the show started.
Yeah, it's a good thing too because, the books. Thank you to the racing gods. It's a good week for Xfinity odds. There's a fucking lot of good stuff on here for Xfinity. So I'm pretty pumped for this race.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be fun because, first and foremost, Xfinity has not been out here since like 2010. So we talk about not having a whole lot of stuff to go off of.
I was getting so pissed at drivers' averages. I click on the Xfinity tab and I'm like, Greg Biffle has like the best average. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where's the recent? And I'm like, oh, yeah. I haven't raced here in a while, huh? This has been Portland week before, so.
I mean, it is crazy, right, to think of the fact that we, you just forget sometimes where the series have gone and how long it's been because you just sort of get into that rhythm where you're watching week after week after week, and sometimes you just don't realize that it's been like 25 or 10, 15 years since these guys have been on the track. And it's funny because you look at Racing Reference and you look at the drivers' averages on the track, and it's like Justin Allgaier still there. And you're like, oh, well, there you go. Yeah, that's how you know it's been that long.
Yeah, there's all the Justin Allgaier, Matt Crafton stats everywhere from all these places we haven't gone to in a million years. But yeah, because I could pull it up, and I'm like, it's like Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards, and I'm like, why are these guys haven't raced in a while? Why? And then I was like, oh, yeah, last race in 2010. Okay, not going to have any track history here. So we're not going to need it for the bets we got today, though, so that don't matter.
I'm willing to bet that there are at least a couple of those drivers that were barely born, like 1 or 2 years old. I know Connor Zilisch was only a couple of years old the last time they raced here. I know probably Nick Sanchez.
So they're all barely. A few of them are a couple. Yeah, Zilisch was like 3 last time Xfinity raced here. So.
Yep. So guys like Allgaier, I know if Shane Van Gisbergen was still in the Xfinity series, he'd be a pretty decent age at that point. But a lot of young kids taking on this track for the first time. And as we know, this is not your average intermediate track. This is kind of an interesting one in of its own right. So lots to break down in this one. But there's no comp track, so Cody, that also makes it tough.
Yeah, I mean, no direct comps for sure. We talked about that yesterday on the Cup episode. Iowa, you could definitely look at. Be a lot of takeaways from that. Phoenix is a good one. Even if you want to look back last year in New Hampshire, I grabbed a couple stats from that, at least for one of my bets. But with the Xfinity series, like we talk about, it's hard in a lot of ways to look back to last year because Connor Zilisch wasn't even running in the Xfinity series other than part-time last year. And he's won like 14 of the last 15 races in the series now. So it's like things just aren't quite the same, right? So definitely with some guys, and there's some things you can look at, but like most weeks, I think current form more so than anything. And looking back at some of those shorter, flatter tracks, even some of the intermediates you can kind of peek at because it is a closer in size to an intermediate than really a short track. That's why it's kind of that weird hybrid in between, but it's going to race more like a short flat, I think, than anything else.
Yeah, and again, this Xfinity series is a lot more top heavy than most of the other ones. Obviously, Cup, there's a lot of outside stuff, but yeah, this is definitely a lot more top heavy. So we'll obviously be talking about a lot of the same guys. And by the way, this is the last regular season race of the Xfinity series. We're going to the championship or the playoffs next week. So yeah, man. Playoffs. A lot riding on this race.
Yeah, we'll have to set that up on the other side of this quick break. But TK checking in says, "Hi guys." John checking in. He wants to know how Corey Day is going to do in the 17. Stay tuned because he is on the sheet. We'll tell you how we think he does.
We will tell you right after we tell you about our foot roll free ball contest. Oh, that, my friends, would be a fantastic our foot roll free ball contest. No, our free roll football contest is back. I'm going to pitch that to the bosses. It's free to enter, and you're picking every NFL game against the spread. $3,000 going to first place. $4,000 if you are a Patreon member. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll. Plus, we got 25% off of everything in the merch store. I mean, then now's the time. And now's the time to start buying hoodies, too, because I guarantee you, weather's about to get cold, so you're going to want to grab those Racing Gambling Podcast hoodies. And now you can even take 25% off of everything in the merch store with our promo code FOOTBALL. So make sure you get down there, get all your Racing Gambling Podcast stuff. And then, of course, we've got our own NFL Survivor contest. That's a $100 entry fee, and winner takes all. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor.
It is football eve, Rod. I'm so excited. I did break out the NASCAR Gambling Podcast hoodie this past weekend at the racetrack. A cold front and a little bit of the rain came in, and it was needed. So, make sure you get a size up on those. I run a little pro tip for you. But also, the free roll football contest, it's free. So why would you not enter it? I mean, just go pick every game against the spread. Like, you're going to be betting on it and watching them anyways. You might as well do it for free. But I was reminded today when TallySight sent out the tweet that Justin Mark was, of course, the number one guy on TallySight last year against the spread in the NFL. And I was top 5, not to brag too much, but, it was good to be reminded of. Last year was such a fucking good football season. I'm really hoping that we can have a repeat performance because it was very nice.
I got my very last fantasy football draft tonight. That is the very last one, and it's a live online draft with 30-second picks.
I snuck in one more last night at about 11 o'clock.
Of course you did.
I was laying in bed drafting, and I was like, I say one more, but we still have another 24 hours.
Or late starting leagues, or best ball, or whatever, right? So there's still plenty of time left.
H checking in on the X says I was high on AA until I saw his prices. Agreed. I think that's going to be the case for both of us. He's honestly not on either of our cards as I look.
No,
through.
He is.
He is. Oh, geez. Why not?
But only one way. Only one way. And this is the only way that I see it.
Not. What are you talking about, Ron? No.
Oh, no. Eric Amarola. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Who are you thinking?
I'm thinking JA. My bad.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I was like, no. I thought you were going with the number one, and I was like, no, he doesn't. That doesn't work either.
Not even in that one either. No.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, Eric Amarola, you know how much we love him. Short, flat guy too. I'm sad not to bet him this week, but the guy I'm going to be talking a lot about, I think we have to bet at this point in time. So that's how it goes. But all right, Rod, should we set up the entry list? Should we set up the playoffs?
If there's no new news, then yes, I feel like we should.
Only news for the IndyCar Gambling Podcast, if that ever becomes a thing. Will Power taking over Colton Herta's seat. I don't know if you saw that.
Whoa.
Herta is off to F2. He's going to be racing for the Cadillac team. He's going to be a reserve driver. Big news in the IndyCar world today, Rod.
That's huge.
He's I guess the F2 part hasn't been announced, but he's officially going to be a reserve driver for the Cadillac team. And it appears he'll race in F2, I guess, is the thing. So, Will Power left Penske, which was announced yesterday, and he's already replaced Herta in that 26 car for Andretti.
I mean, not a huge shock in that department. But I will also say, if Herta takes over the second Red Bull seat, that, my friends, will be gigantic news. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, well, Palou, there's been some Palou rumors, too. I don't know why F1 wouldn't want to look at him harder, but I think he would go if he got the shot, but we'll see.
God, we need another open wheel podcast. That's our world.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I think that's how we need to come back is as the open wheel gambling podcast. But
I agree.
That's an off-season conversation. We'll get back there.
We will. All right. let's turn our attention then to the World Wide Technology Raceway at Gateway in Madison, Illinois, as we are set for 160 laps around this 1.250 mile paved track for 200 miles into this New Way 200 sauced by Blues Hog in the World Wide Technology Raceway. Yeah, that's the official name. I didn't say it at the beginning. You know, I love to say the whole name, but I figured I'd throw it in there. So sauced by Blues Hogs. Blues Hog.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, is that like a St. Louis barbecue thing?
I would have to think it is something to that.
Well, but then it says everything for the contract. I don't know.
I don't
know.
So
weird.
Oh, Blues Hog. Well, I don't know that I want to even Google that because I'm afraid what's going to come up. No, Blues Hog barbecue sauce is what it is.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah. So shout out to them. A little St. Louis barbecue for you. So, the entry list is down to 38 cars. There was initially 39 on there, but I don't quite understand this. There was 39, but 2 cars withdrew. Oh, there was 40. So 2 cars withdrew. Now there's 38. So everybody's going to make the race. We are down to the final race of the regular season, so no more Cup guys are allowed to come down to this. So we're not going to see any more of that. Notables as far as in different cars, Daniel Hemrick. Of course, the 11 car has been vacated by Josh Williams. They've been filling that with Cup guys. We can't do that anymore. So Daniel Hemrick is going to step up from the Truck Series and into the Xfinity Series this weekend while the Truck Series has off. He'll be driving that 11 car for Colleague. So take note. We'll be back to talk about him in a little bit for sure. Corey Day, as was mentioned by John, he's going to be back in the 17 car this week. Eric Almirola, as was mentioned by H there, he's going to be back in the 19 car for Joe Gibbs. I'd imagine we see him through a majority of the playoffs. So definitely be a guy that we probably will kind of continue to talk about through the rest of the season. So I think that's LeVar Scott's in the 45, Thomas Annunziata in the 70. I think that's about it as far as notables go in this one.
I concur, yeah. And so as we look at the playoff picture going into this, Cody, we have 8 drivers locked in. We could have a new winner and lock in a 9th, which would pretty much decide whether or not Harrison Burton or Jeb Burton in a battle right now between each other either make it or don't, because it seems like Taylor Gray's safe at 60 over the cut line. Sheldon Creed pretty much safe at 65. Carson Kvapil plus 131, so it seems like he's pretty much safe, obviously, for a new winner.
Kvapil is locked in, and Creed. So let's see. So looking through this, so 12 guys make the Xfinity playoffs. Of course, Cup is 16, Xfinity is 12. Zilisch, Allgaier, Hill, Mayer, Love, Jones, Sammy Smith, Nick Sanchez, they're all locked in and good to go. Carson Kvapil's also locked in. He's got enough points to be in. Sheldon Creed at plus 65. He's fairly comfortable there. He actually might be locked in. I have to double check on that. But I think because if you got a new winner, so if you get a new winner, Harrison could technically catch him, so he's not locked in. But he's looking pretty safe. Taylor Gray's feeling pretty good, barring an absolutely disastrous day. And Harrison Burton, 31 to the good. He's feeling pretty decent as long as he doesn't have a disastrous day, which we've kind of seen from that team lately. Jeb, Harrison's cousin, minus 31 to the cut. He, of course, is going to have to do a lot of work and going to need stage points. Going to need Harrison to have a bad day as well. So maybe we'll see some cousin on cousin crime. Everybody else, Ryan Sieg 68 points out. So everybody else, it's you got to win and you're in. If a guy like Ryan Sieg were to win this week, or Christian Eckes, Dean Thompson, William Sawalich, those are kind of names that would be surprising and they're long shots, but could win, I suppose. If one of them were to win, of course, that would bounce Harrison Burton out, or Jeb Burton, whichever one's sitting there on the cut, or Taylor Gray, depending on how things go. So, it's shaping up, and we're pretty much about there. Likely, we've got our field of 12. I would say going into this race that the 12 that are in right now is likely the 12 that will be in the playoffs. But seen some crazy stuff happen in these cut races, and you can't put anything past these Xfinity Series drivers.
You certainly cannot, especially on a track that they haven't raced on in over 15 years.
Austin Hill's still racing.
Oh my God, let's stay away from that. H, here's the thing. H, go back, listen to yesterday's episode. We talked about AJ Allmendinger. We talked about this exact bet. So all of our thoughts are there.
We do think it's a good bet.
Yeah, we do actually. Just to summarize, we do.
John wants to know too, do he think Sieg can win this race? Actually, you're not going to give him out as a to win play, but certainly he could. And actually, I have a bet on him here in a second that I'll kind of paint the case, especially at these shorter, flatter tracks. He's been pretty good. So it's going to be an upset case if he does, but capable of winning. Yes, he's obviously never won a race. So, but hey, neither had Daniel Hemrick until he did. So there we go.
I mean, there's always a first when it's a first. I think that's profound enough to say.
You got to do it at some point, right?
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the bets here. But before we do, I want to tell you all of our friends at mybookie.ag. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. And their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit, lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. You want to talk about anything at any time, right? How about futsal? The futsal league is a indoor soccer league. And so, man, I'm telling you, you can find that on there. Obviously, there's nothing going on right now. You can find snooker going on. You can find rugby. You can find kabaddi. Remember when I gave you a good kabaddi pick? How about another good kabaddi pick? Probably not one that I want to give you there. I don't know. There's even live e-soccer as well. So all kinds of crazy bets over there on mybookie.ag. Go have yourself some fun. And use our promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. NFL is back, baby, on Rhythm. Last season, Rhythm was 76-66 against the spread and 22-19 on over-unders. They really shine on player props. How about Baker Mayfield? They went 10-5 on Baker Mayfield props with a 25% ROI. Rhythm also has MLB, WNBA, golf, and college football, and Rhythm has introduced a leaderboard with weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you could win $1,000. Get your free trial today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. When somebody, was it? It was in another Discord that I'm in. Yeah, I commit Discord, Discord, whatever it's called. But he was like, I would bet on Russian table tennis if I could win money. And I was like, you're my kind of guy, because I absolutely agree with you on that one.
Step into my office, Rod
Step
says.
into my office. How about you read the article that I wrote on table tennis? That is 100% exactly what I thought.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Indeed. All right. Well then, Cody, it is the new Way 200 sauced by Blues Hog. That's just gonna be a thing. So let's start loading up the card before I get us in trouble with the FCC.
Yeah, and it definitely is the new way, because there is no old way, because we haven't been here for a long time. So there you have it. So I'm going to start off with Ryan Sieg, who we just mentioned talking about. I'm going to take him over Rod's guy, Carson Kvapil, -115 over on DraftKings. You look back at the last 3 races and you think you want to bet on Ryan Sieg. Trust me, if you just look at the last 3 races, don't bet on Ryan Sieg, because it was rough for Ryan Sieg. But it was Portland, Daytona, Watkins Glen. Okay, fine. Throw them out, right? Set them aside. A couple of road courses, super speedway. Not going to worry about that, because before that, ovals, he's been damn good, just like he's always been. We've documented that for years on the show, especially over these last 2 seasons. 5th place at Indy, 8th place at Iowa. By the way, it looks like to me that Xfinity also running the same tire they ran at Iowa. So we'll get to the rest of your comment there in a second, H. But yes, so 5th place at Iowa, had a great run there. Comp track, same tire. Love to see that. Or 8th place, I guess, rather, at Iowa. 6th place at Dover, 7th place at Bristol, 5th place at Pocono, 8th place at Texas, 8th place at Martinsville, short flat, 4th place at Phoenix, one of the more comparable short flats. You go back to last year, 6th place at New Hampshire, probably the closest comparison track to this. That's a lot of good runs by Ryan Sieg lately and earlier this season on comp stuff. Carson Kvapil, not quite been the same. 30th place at Indy, 9th place at Iowa, so got bested by Sieg by 1 spot, but hey, Sieg still cashes. 15th at Dover to Sieg's 6th. He did finish 2nd at Bristol, so I'll give him props there. 6th at Pocono was a good run, still not good enough to beat Ryan Sieg, of course. But then you go back to those short flats earlier this season. 20th place at Martinsville, 26th place at Phoenix. Not really good runs for Carson Kvapil back there. So I actually highlighted this bet, and I was like, I'm kind of feeling Kvapil. I feel like we've maybe taken a step somewhere. I'm gonna look at him. It feels like Sieg's taking a step back. But then as I dove into the numbers, it was like, oh, don't let the recency bias. It feels like Sieg's been rough for a while, because the last month it's been road courses and super speedway. And, well, things didn't go his way. But if you look at the ovals and what he's really done, it's not as bad as it really feels like, because of the track styles we've been at. So I really like Ryan Sieg. As the more I dug into this, I was like, wow, this is clearly a Sieg side for me. So give me Ryan Sieg over Rod's guy, Carson Kvapil.
Which is fine. And I'll talk about Carson.
Rod's second favorite driver named Carson.
It's, oh, you got me on that one, you bastard. No, and then you think about it this way, too, is that there's not, I mean, it feels like there's been a lot of races, but there's only been 4 in the month of August. But, I mean, it just doesn't feel like there was, I don't know, whatever it was, Xfinity.
They had the off week in there, too. So,
yeah,
over the last 4 weeks, it's only been 3 races, and it's been all super speedway and road course.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'll give you this one and I'll concede this because I'm going to make a case where for the other guy that's not necessarily meaning he's going to have to finish anywhere near that to beat the guy that I'm going to talk about in a second. But let me talk about the 2-car and the former occupant of the 2-car, the current and the former occupant of the 2-car, Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed in a head-to-head again. I'm taking the Love side again. If you're going to keep giving me this head-to-head, I'm going to keep taking this head-to-head. I'm going to keep taking the Love side of this head-to-head. Minus 115 over on Caesars for Jesse Love over Sheldon Creed in the 00. If you just look, overall this season, right, Jesse Love has the most top 10 finishes in the entire series right now with 17 top 10 finishes in the series. Sheldon Creed has 12. Jesse Love has 7 top 5 finishes. Sheldon Creed has 5. We're talking average finishes here. Sheldon Creed, believe it or not, average finish this season of 17. Unbelievable for the 00 car, who used to finish second in every single race, even when he wasn't racing them. Like, it's weird to have him at 17 as an average finish. Jesse Love, on the other hand, 6 places better in 11th. And honestly, I could probably just stop it right there and be good to go and tell you that I think this, just on the sheer numbers alone, averages-wise, is enough for you to take Love over Creed. But if you look at Sheldon Creed's last few races, right, and these are races that he's supposed to be good at, right, like road courses and super speedways, Sheldon Creed. Well, how about a 27th at Portland? 17th at Daytona, 35th at Watkins Glen because he crashed. He did have a 7th at Iowa, and that's great, right? 17th at Indy, 8th at Dover, 10th at Sonoma, 3rd at Chicago, 32nd at Atlanta, 36th at Pocono, like 36th at Texas. These are some pretty terrible finishes. Jesse Love, not bad on the last month or so. Dover, 5th place finish. Indy, 9th place. 2nd place at Iowa, so he still beat Sheldon there. 14th at Watkins Glen. 4th at Daytona. 10th at Portland. So going all the way back to even Dover, it's been the fact that Love has just been better than Creed every single week in that span. Go back to Texas. 7th at Texas for Love. 8th at Nashville. 2nd at Pocono. Good solid finishes, right? With that win at Daytona, the 9th at Phoenix, the 3rd at Las Vegas, the 6th at Homestead. I mean, he's cooking, right? 17 top 10s this season out of 25 starts. At 68% of the time, he is inside of the top 10. Only 2 DNFs. The 2-car, man, it haunts the 00 car's memories. Anytime he gets near that 2-car, like just PTSD and him watching it finish in 2nd place just sort of takes and seizes over him, and he doesn't do well around the 2-car. So give me Jesse Love over Sheldon Creed, minus 115.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy one. I mean, I don't really have any argument with this. I think that Love has clearly been the better driver this year. And, as surprising as it is that you'd think that the Haas car should be the better car of the two, but both of the RCR cars have been good when Austin Hill's not using his as a weapon. But, no argument there. And yeah, to TK's point too, Creed qualifies in the low teens often and just can't keep up with the JRM, JGR guys clogging up the top 10. Completely agree with that. And then you toss in the RCR guys with a guy like Love and even Hill. So yeah, I'm with you on this.
Surprisingly enough, though, his average start, Sheldon Creed, 11.5. So yeah, in the low teens, but boy, he's at a 6th place start at Texas, 8th at Charlotte, 5th at Nashville, started on the pole in Atlanta, 4th at Chicago, 9th at Sonoma, 11th at Dover, 3rd at Indy. I mean, you're absolutely right. It just
to do much with it either. Hasn't been able to do much with it. Yeah.
That's it. So, all right, Cody, where we go next?
We do have some breaking lawsuit news if you're interested, Rod. 2311 in front row were denied their preliminary injunction. The judge states that NASCAR setting aside 6 charters pending the outcome of this case. 2311 and FRM were not subject to irreparable harm. So basically, it sounds like, NASCAR said, hey, we've got these 4 other charters we can sell over here that we've been holding back, right? So it sounds like, well, not sounds like, but they have now been allowed by the judge to sell those 4 charters if they want. Now, assuming that NASCAR wins the lawsuit, they could later on say, hey, we're going to take, 4 of these 6 from 2311 in front row and set them back into the reserve spot. But also might help their case if new teams want to come in and sign the charter that these guys are suing them about. So it'll be interesting to watch, right? Do they just start doling out charters? And if they do, who does it go to? Where do they go? They've got 4 extras that they're now legally allowed to sell. So as the world turns in NASCAR courtrooms,
Cadillac gets it. Cadillac gets to come in NASCAR as
well. We've heard Andretti is possibly one of the teams that wants to, right? And they're the ones behind the Cadillac deal. So, hey, GM, we'd heard rumors before that GM might switch from Chevy to Cadillac even. So, yeah, who knows?
Wouldn't that be amazing? Laura checking in saying, howdy, guys. Howdy, Laura. Good to see you.
Always good to see you. And good to see Ash checking in. Says, evening, lads. Ash checking in from across the pond. Of course, it's probably about bedtime for Ash over there. Notification didn't come up. Good to be here now. Sawalich was rock solid last weekend. We're staying with him over Eckes. I don't mind that. That did not make the card officially, but there will be Sawalich. Of course, one of my favorite Xfinity drivers of all time, Rod. And Ty Tiger checking in as well says, hey, bosses. Hello. I don't think we want to be your boss. You don't want us to be your bosses, more or less.
Hell
but,
no.
Yeah, good to see you. All right, Rod. Next up for me, H had asked earlier about Mr. Taylor Gray, and I am once again on Taylor Gray, top 5 plus 225. I think he's had a lot of speed down the stretch. He's looked really good, and things have gone well for him. Kind of mixed results over the last 3 weeks, fine. But if you go back and you look at the ovals, 3rd place in Indianapolis. Iowa, he was 17th. I feel like he was running better and then had an issue. I don't have that pulled up in front of me exactly what happened there, but I'm not going to look into that too much. 7th at Dover. Had some other good runs mixed in at some of the other tracks. 7th at Sonoma, 5th at Atlanta, 7th at Coda, had the 2nd place at Mexico City, all mixed in there. 19th at Bristol, 9th at Pocono. So you'd like to see some better stuff there, but 2nd place at Texas, 5th place at Rockingham. That's actually another track that you can fairly compare to this. 6th place back at Phoenix earlier on this year as well, short flat. So you like to see that. JGR cars have had a lot of speed. No more Cup guys in the field, right? So it's going to be, really the elite cars right now is going to be Zilisch, Allgaier, Almirola. That's kind of your top tier 3 guys. And then after that, I would put Gray near the top of that next list. And you get him at plus 225 to finish in the top 5. He doesn't have to beat Zilisch. I don't think he's going to. He doesn't have to beat Allgaier. Probably not going to. Doesn't have to beat Almirola. Probably not going to. Just has to beat everybody else and finish in one of those next 2 spots. At plus 225, I think he can get it done. I think that they're looking for a good, strong finish as they head into the playoffs here because he was one of the guys he's plus 60. He's likely finding his way into the playoffs.
I like him, obviously better than his older brother, so I will not argue with you on Taylor, even though Tanner came tantalizingly close to cashing and making me shut up.
So I wish I saw, of all the bets that could have hit, that would have been the best one, because then I would have clipped you just shitting on my bet all fucking show and be like, really? This was a bad pick. All right. But,
hey,
and Ty Tiger is saying we essentially pay him by giving out winning bets. So, okay. I'll take the connection.
I will take that. I'll take that as well. All right. Well, you talked about him earlier in your head-to-head Sieg over Kvapil. Well, I'm going to take Kvapil, but this time I'm going to take him over Brandon Jones, minus 115. I'm going to do a little bit of the same thing that I did with Love and Creed, because if you just look at average finishes alone, this head-to-head should cash in Kvapil's favor. Brandon Jones this year, look at in that 20 car, in the JGR car, obviously there is a tier, and Brandon Jones is at the back end of that tier. 15.5 for Brandon Jones, average finish this season, the former JRM driver, taking on the current JRM driver, who's 13.4 average finish this season. Just take a look at some of the finishes from the last few weeks. Indy, 30th for Kvapil, not a good day, but I will point out Brandon Jones had an even worse day, 32nd at Indy. After that, Iowa, 9th place for Kvapil, 5th place at Watkins Glen for Kvapil, 10th at Daytona for Carson, and then 6th at Portland. Just take a look at what old Brandon Jones has done lately. 18th at Portland, 6th at Daytona, which was the one place where he basically got him. 9th at Watkins Glen, 23rd at Iowa, 32nd at Indy. He did have a 3rd place at Dover, and that's great. He started 4th in that one, but that race, not necessarily really that, I guess, eventful that in that instance. But Sonoma 13th, Chicago 21st, Atlanta 14th, Pocono 18th, Mexico City 25th, 13th at Nashville, which is something that I look at, right? I'm looking at that sort of intermediate track-ish type of thing, not quite a mile and a half, not quite a mile, but it's somewhere in there. Nashville for Carson Kvapil, 9th place in that instance. 5th place at Darlington, 2nd at Bristol for Kvapil. Brandon Jones, it's just, he did win Darlington. That's great, but he finished 5th at Bristol, so that was behind Kvapil as well. 3rd at Phoenix. It's just so streaky for Brandon Jones right now, and it's just, he feels like he's on the wrong end of that streak. And neither one of these guys have history at this track, so if all things are equal and Carson Kvapil's running fairly well right now, I'm going to take him over Brandon Jones, who just sort of can't get in the rhythm that I think JGR was expecting him to get back into.
I don't know. I don't like this one, Rod. I've already gone against Carson Kvapil in a different head-to-head. Brandon Jones also my guy, so I don't really want to go against him, but he's been known to be a short, flat guy. I don't know. Kvapil still, as much as I like him, as much as I think he's got a bright future, he's still kind of in the don't want to bet on category. And I was going to try to today. And then I started looking at stuff, and I was like, yeah, why was I going to try to bet on him? I don't know. So I'm glad I took myself out of it. And hopefully you can eventually someday too.
Yeah. Well, no. No, look at TK saying the same thing. I'd say Jones is usually running higher, but tends to get taken out in chaos a little bit more. Kvapil is conservative, being a rookie. I mean, it's not even that he's conservative. It's just that he's prone to stay out of more of the fracas than Brandon Jones, because Brandon Jones has the years of experience.
He's had his own fair share of things just going wrong seemingly a majority of the season too, though.
Well, and so listen, Kvapil, if we take a look at the whole top 10 issue again, Kvapil has 12 top 10s. Brandon Jones has 9. So, I mean, again, we're talking just, it's going to be it's not going to be like a slam dunk on either end of this, but I still think that Carson Kvapil is probably going to be a top 10-ish car, where I can't really say the same about Brandon Jones. Top 15, sure. Maybe not top 10.
3rd place at Phoenix, Rod, just saying.
It's fine. We'll see.
That's the Brandon Jones I expect to see, but maybe you'll get the one that finished 23rd at Iowa. Who knows?
That's what I'm hoping for. That's exactly what I'd like to see to cash this bet. But all right. We'll continue down the card.
Get to the break. That way we can talk about Brandon Jones' teammate.
Brandon. All right, let's talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Best Ball Mania. It's happening all summer long. They're giving away $15 million in prizes. You heard that correctly. $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. There's no waiver wire. There's no arguments about trades. Best Ball, best way to play fantasy football. Underdog also is a great place to play Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Told you about this yesterday. It's still up. So how about the All Disc Golf Pro Tour? Missy Gannon talking about her Great Lakes Open FPO. She's projected at 4.5 to finish the tournament at 4.5. I'm still taking the worst then. If you look at her last few tournaments, she's only finished once better than 4.5 in the last 5 tournaments. 7th at the European Disc Golf Festival, 8th at the putting competition, 8th at the PDGA Professional World Championship, and then 5th on the Disc Craft Lego Store Open. Ooh, yeah, that's what I like. And then the only time she did it last time was the LWS Open, where she finished 2nd. So Missy Gannon, worse than 4.5 tourney finishing position in the Pro Disc Golf Course. You find that over there on Underdog Fantasy. While you're at it, sign up with our promo code RACESGPN, because Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with that promo code RACESGPN. Tell you about Novig. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is an exchange, you know you're getting some of the best prices in the market. Novig is available in 35 plus states, including the great state of California. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Yes, sir. No vig. I am definitely hot on that trail. Read that one yesterday. Didn't get a chance to go over, but I'm going to do it today. So all over no vig.
I will be getting signed up here before tomorrow's football game for sure, because I did see Nebraska is one of those states that they are available.
Woohoo. Gotta love it. All right. Speaking of available, this bet's available for you right now.
Speaking of things I love, William Sawalich, of course, he is coming to the good graces, big time here lately. Cashed a nice top 5 for us last week, and we're going to run it back with the top 10 plus money. Somebody was paying attention to the beginning of the season and forgot to adjust when the Sawalich train got on the tracks. Rod, oh man, plus money for Sawalich is crazy. So I'm going to take him plus 110 to finish in the top 10. Again, Zilisch, Allgaier, Allmendinger, doesn't have to beat any of those guys. He just has to finish in the top 10 in a JGR car on a short, flat track. I don't see how that's really too much of a problem for him. He's coming off a second-place run at Portland, rather. Had a decent day at Daytona. Watkins Glen was not great, but Indy, 6th place, 11th at Iowa, so one spot outside of the top 10 there. Again, I think we had Cup guys in that field. I know we had Cup guys in that field, not in this field. 9th place at Dover, 3rd place at Sonoma. So been some really good runs for him as of late. And even if you go back to Phoenix earlier this year, the short flat that I keep like to point out, 13th place run, and that was in the midst of when William Sawalich was a no-talent hack, and he is no longer that. So, and last year he ran at Phoenix as well and ran 13th place there in one of his few limited starts. So I'm all aboard the William Sawalich train. He's flipped things around. He's been running well. He's, maybe gotten over that bad luck that was on top of, making mistakes. You were combining those two things, and things just weren't going well for him. But I think that that problem's fixed, and I think it's kind of silly we're getting plus money on him for just a top 10. We don't have to squeeze him into the top 5. Just as a finish in the top 10, that should be a pretty simple day for William Sawalich. So I love that. And then this is my heel turned good box, I guess, here, because I'm also going to take Corey Day for a top 10, also a plus money at plus 125. I know somebody was asking about him earlier on in the chat, but I'm kind of in on Corey Day. Xfinity Series, we haven't seen it as much, but you have to remember this is still a Hendrick car, right? And we've seen him start to put it together in the Truck Series, which is positive. I like that. So I think that can translate over here into the Xfinity Series as well. 24th at Iowa, definitely would like to see better, but Nashville, which is a similar sized track, 11th place run for him there. But you flip over to the Truck Series where he's been running a lot better in his starts. He just ran 9th place last week at Darlington. Indianapolis, 2nd place in the Truck Series. 5th place at Nashville. Again, similar size track where he ran good in both of them. So, after starting the season with a bunch of bad results in the races that he's run more recently, things have definitely gotten a lot better for Mr. Corey Day. And look, we know he's super talented. Rick Hendrick's obviously in on him. He's in the Hendrick car here at this point in time too. So, William Sawalich plus 110, Corey Day plus 125. My around even money top 10 hits that I think you're in a JGR car and a Hendrick car at plus money to finish in the top 10 with two very young drivers that have had their fair share of mistakes, but have really started to clean up their act. I think that this is the perfect time to catch it before the books begin to adjust like we've literally been doing for 8 weeks with Chase Briscoe.
Seriously. We've been at a chasing match and we've been winning, and then all of a sudden the books are like, nope, we're pulling the rabbit back. But
they still didn't adjust completely, but they're getting closer, so enjoy it while you can.
No, Corey Day, listen, good for the Truck Series, right? That was one of the good stories that we had the last time out in trucks, and he's just going to be getting better and better and better. That's one that I'm a little ticked off because I saw that one and I was going to run to it and it was already there. So already in the dock. I back you 100% on Corey Day as a top 10 car. And then of course William Sawalich, you can't argue with him being there again. So I like that one as well. All right, colleague. Going to be having Daniel Hemrick back in the 11, but Christian Eckes still parked in that 16 car. Not really parked. He's driving the car. But I will say that I do think he'll drive it to a top 10 finish again this week at plus 110 over on ESPN. I mean, somebody said it too. The top 10 odds are pretty much nuked for everybody that's a favorite in this race. So just, you can eat any chalk you want on that one if you want to pay the juice. But I feel like taking a longer shot on plus 110 for Christian Eckes is the way to go. Obviously, 4th place last week at Portland, but that's a road course. 8th place at Watkins Glen, that's a road course. Again, you expect that. But 10th at Iowa, 10th at Dover, a couple of 10th place finishes at some intermediate tracks, right? At 13th place at Indy. I know that's a super long track, so you can't really comp that one. 3rd at Pocono. Go back to Charlotte. He had a 9th place finish there. And here's where we start getting into those non-traditional tracks. Bristol, obviously short track, 9th place. After 22nd place start, by the way. So a really good run for him there. Darlington, a 7th place finish there. Nashville was a bad day. He crashed out of that one, so can't really count that. But Phoenix, he had an 8th place finish there as well. Overall, 11 top 10 finishes in 25 starts. So, what is it? A 44% chance of this hitting this season. And I pretty much think that, I just read off the ones out of the 11 that were on the intermediate tracks, the ovals. And while a couple of them did come on road courses, I get that. Only a couple of them came on road courses. The majority of them came off of these oval tracks. So Christian Eckes, as bad as we kind of dog on Colleague more often than not, he's still a good enough driver to be a top 10 contender week after week after week. And I think you're getting plus money on him is a really good proposition. So I think Christian Eckes should have a top 10 day, and plus 110 at ESPN is a good price for it.
Yeah, I don't mind this at all. I do like one of his teammates a little better. Good to see JDK finally made it through the tariff gate. He's a little bit late, but afternoon to JDK. Up from very international flavor in the chat today, Rod. So I like that. Got Canada down under represent. I can't remember. Is TK is New Zealand, I think, isn't he? I don't want to get it wrong. Or is he Australia?
That's a good question.
Boy.
Zealand,
New
New Zealand.
If I got it wrong, but New Zealand. Okay, there we go. And and then of course Ash from England. So good to see all of you here, and of course all of our wonderful American listeners too. All right, Rod. Speaking of Christian Eckes' teammate, that's Daniel Hemrick this week. He is in that 11 car, which has been running. Oh, New Zealand, I got it right.
See, we were right.
Thank God.
Thank God, TK.
Yes.
Woo.
Glad we didn't fuck that up. That would have been horrible. Okay, anyways, Daniel Hemrick is riding in that 11 car, and we've seen that 11 car. Williams didn't do shit in it, right? And he got fired, and then they started putting Cup guys in there, and it's like, well, this car is not really a problem. We saw good runs by McDowell, good run by Hocevar. Haley, I think, had a fine run at Daytona. Like, we've seen it be a good car since they've taken it over. So now you're putting another very capable driver, Daniel Hemrick, coming up from the Truck Series, yes, but don't forget, he was a Cup Series guy for a few years, Xfinity Series champion just a couple of years ago. He's a very good driver. Plus 275 to just finish in the top 10 when his teammate Christian Eckes is at plus 110. Like, I'm not even worried about call issues anymore. At plus 275 for a very good driver to finish in the top 10. We don't need him to go out and win this race. We know he has a problem winning races in a general sense, but look at what he's done in the Truck Series this year. It's been incredible in the Truck Series. 2nd at Darlington. He had a rough day at Richmond where he finished 33rd, but 2nd at Watkins Glen. 7th at IRP, short track, by the way. 9th at Lime Rock. 5th at Pocono. Rough day at Michigan. That was crazy. 17 overtimes, all that stuff. But 4th at Nashville, similar size to this. 8th at Charlotte. 4th at North Wilkesboro, short flat. 10th at Kansas. 2nd at Texas. 3rd at Rockingham, similar to this track. 13th at Bristol was a bad day, but he won at Martinsville, short flat. 5th at Miami. Like, he has just been so consistent, and he's the type of guy that's going to go out there and just run his race, run a solid race, have a good day. Not going to be in the mix to win, likely, but he's going to be in the top 10 at the end of the day. Almost 3-1 for Daniel Hemrick in this car. When Eckes in the same exact car is at plus 110, I love Christian Eckes, but is he that much better than Daniel Hemrick? I mean, maybe he might be a little bit, but good enough that it shouldn't be this much of a swing. So I love Daniel Hemrick at plus 275. And then this might be my favorite one, Ron. I don't know if this is a mistake. I don't know if they've not paid any attention. But our guy, the mustache himself, Dean Thompson, top 10, 12-1. Tell me you've not watched any of these races and price him at 12-1. Dean Thompson having an amazing season in that 26 car. Portland was a rough day. Yeah, 7th at Daytona. Nice. 13th at Watkins Glen's a good run. Indianapolis, last time we were on an oval, 10th place finish. Now, Iowa was a rough day. He finished in 31st, but Dover was 16th. Good runs at Chicago, Sonoma, Atlanta, Coda, but 10th place at Bristol, another recent oval. 12th at Mexico City was a good one. 17th at Pocono, like he's been hanging around. 5th place at Charlotte. But you go back and you look, 11th place at Rockingham. So again, right there, cracking on the door. Short flat at Martinsville, 6th place finish there. Las Vegas, good run there. Didn't have a rough day at Phoenix. So a couple of the comp tracks, it's been rough, but got a lot of top 10s or very close to top 10 runs all season. And you're getting him at 12-1. Again, the field's kind of shrunk now. We don't have any cup guys coming in. You got like a Daniel Hemrick stepping up. Sure, he might snag one of those spots. Eric Almirola is always going to take up a top 10 spot too, but there's some open spots at the top of this, or at the bottom of this top 10 rather. And at 12-1 for Dean Thompson, he's going to be in the mix throughout the day. He's going to run 10th to 20th probably and have a shot to cash this at the end of the day. He should not be 12-1. And I don't know. I mean, I probably wouldn't wait. And if you're looking, by the way, ESPN, the only book that has still been giving us top 10. So shout out to ESPN Bet for that. But I probably wouldn't hold off on betting this one. I'd probably get in on this sooner rather than later because I think that number is probably going to move down. It seems a little bit off for a guy that's been as good as Thompson's been this year. Again, all things considered, who he is, what car he's in, he's having a really strong season. And at this number, I think that this price is definitely worth it.
Well, yeah, again, mustache alone and notwithstanding, definitely a good bet on that end. But yeah, he's always just, it's funny because when you think about watching these races and listening to the announcers and the names that they sound surprised when somebody's running into that mix and all of a sudden you go, and then there's Dean Thompson right up in the mix right there. And you're like, well, yeah, because he's always right up in the mix, guys. Why do you act surprised every single time you see Dean Thompson hanging around the top 10? It's like, I don't know why you guys are all, oh, look at Dean Thompson's actually a good driver. Yeah, we know. We pay attention.
Yes.
And don't just rely on our notes.
Jeez. I love when they say, nobody saw this coming, and I'm just yelling at the TV. The NASCAR Gambling Podcast saw this coming.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we should send a note to their producer. Go check this time code for that. We all saw it coming, folks. Speaking of good drivers, Sam Mayer. Sam Mayer in that Haas factory equipment. And by the way, too, the Dean Thompson, just to circle back, Austin Hill is in this race still. Therefore, anything can happen at the front of the field. Dean Thompson can slide himself into a 10th place finish. Sorry. Just wanted to put that out there as I talked about.
Yes, that's a good disclaimer.
Sam Mayer. 41 car. Not bad this season. 12 top 5 finishes. So we'll give him another one here. Plus 175 over on ESPN. Like I said, Sam Mayer has the tied for third most top 5 finishes. It goes, actually, hold on. That was top 10 finishes. How about he's got the tied for the second most top 5 finishes in the series. Connor Zilisch has 14. Justin Allgaier has 12. Sam Mayer, Justin's former teammate and former, not really teammate of Zilisch because it was before his time. But, right there, tied at 12 for Justin Allgaier and for Sam Mayer. Not much more I can say if you've been paying attention to these races, man. It's fantastic. Like, Portland was a bad day, but he started 5th in that race. Finished 5th at Daytona, 2nd at Watkins Glen, 1 at Iowa, 2nd at Indy, 12th at Dover, okay. But he had a 3rd place at Nashville, 5th place at Texas, 5th place at Martinsville, 2nd at Homestead, 5th at Las Vegas, 7th at Phoenix. I know that's not a top 5, but it was really damn close. And that was early in the season, too, in his very first few races as a Haas factory driver. So he's figured it out. Like I said, 48% of the time, this guy's in the top 5. To me, it's hard to have somebody, a coin flip at plus 175. That's almost 2-1 on a coin flip here. And not necessarily that big of a coin flip because, like I said, I just read you the ovals that he has finished inside of the top 5 at. You look at the 16th place at Portland, 17th at Sonoma, 23rd at Mexico City. Those are 3 instances in which he didn't finish inside of the top 5, but those are 3 road courses, right? So you got to kind of throw those. 17th at Sonoma. I think I already read that one as well. And then, 14th at Talladega? Super Speedway, right? So at 36th at Atlanta, Super Speedway. You got to take these at face value for what they are and know that while it may be 48% of the time on ovals, that percentage is much higher. So, give me Sam Mayer to finish inside the top 10 at almost 2-1 plus 175 over on ESPN.
Yeah, I like this one. It came down to me between Mayer and Gray. I ended up going with Gray, but Mayer won at Iowa, the comp track to this that we've been on recently, right? Similar tire code, all of that stuff. And they've really sort of figured things out down the stretch with the 41 car. much like a Chase Briscoe, where we saw him struggle to open the season, new team, everybody learning each other. But once they did, things have been pretty good for Mr. Sam Mayer down the stretch. Speaking of guys that things have been good for down the stretch, Rod, I don't know if you've heard of this Connor Zilisch kid, but I guess he's sort of okay. So we're just gonna take a little bet on him. Top finishing Chevrolet. I know the Chevy Field stat, but I think he could probably get it done. He's plus 190, not even the favorite in this group, which is kind of crazy. And it's kind of crazy because he's won 4 races in a row. Yes, Caesars. He's won 4 races in a row. I'm going to take note of that. He's also won 6 of the last 7 races this season, and he's not finished outside of the top 5 since June 14th, I believe.
Since birth?
Is when that is. Yeah, basically. So, Connor Zilisch, pretty fucking damn good. And you look at the Chevy. So I was kind of looking at a couple of different things with Connor Zilisch. I was looking at a head-to-head with Justin Allgaier. He's minus 115. And then I thought, well, you could take him top Chevy, and essentially it's probably a head-to-head with Justin Allgaier, right? There's obviously other guys in the field with Chevy, but if you look down the list, who else are you really concerned about? Allgaier and him, it's going to be close, right? It's going to be neck and neck likely. After that, Jesse Love, okay, yeah, he can have a good day. Is he really going to compete to win? Probably not. Sammy Smith, Austin Hill, Carson Kvapil, you've quickly lost me. We don't really have any other guys that should run where Zilisch runs all day. So instead of just taking him over Allgaier at minus 115, you could take him to be just the best finishing Chevy at plus 190. This also opens up Eric Almirola to win this race. While neither of us are going to pick him, he is one of the 3 co-favorites in this race. And so if he does win the race, you could still get a Zilisch to finish in second place and still cash a plus 190 bet on him. So it's kind of a way to squirm in a bet on Zilisch, which I'm not done betting on, by the way. Spoiler alert, there's going to be another bet on him. But I think this is another good way to get in on him. If he just wins the race, you're kind of doubling up anyways. But yeah, give me Connor Zilisch to be the top finishing Chevy. Leaves the door cracked open for Eric Almirola. Maybe a Taylor Gray sneaks in there. Maybe Ryan Sieg does crazy fuel mileage and gets that something crazy. Right? Or Sam Mayer won at Iowa. Maybe he wins in a Ford. And so you could still be the top finishing Chevy and cash a plus 190 here. So I like that for Connor Zilisch, who's been checks notes really fucking good lately.
I do. I really like the angle of it being a head-to-head between Allgaier and Kvapil, because that's really creative way to use a top Chevy as a head-to-head, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I got to take the head-to-head. But if you think about it, you're right. You get plus money for this top Chevy, and it could turn into
so much of a bigger number when yes, obviously Allgaier wrecks on lap 1, you'd catch the head-to-head, and then maybe Zilisch has an issue and he doesn't finish top Chevy and you don't cash this. It's not a true head-to-head, but essentially, if everybody's just running as they're running, it's those 2 guys clearly above all the rest of the Chevys. And so I think you can definitely look at it that way, and you're getting a better number. So I think that's the way to get in on it.
Agreed. All right. I saw H's comment, and I had to go back and look real quick. Eck is very good in the trucks here as well. Just kind of getting back to that Eckes thing. Yeah, Eck has had 3 second place finishes in a row on this track in the truck series. So really good.
Truck with Eckes. So fucking good. And Nashville, similar track. That was the race he led every single lap last year in that truck. So the biggest question always with the call cars is if it holds out. And with Eckes especially, he's been great every single week. He's been top 10 every week. The car has not always been top 10 every week, and that's kind of the issue at times. But I do like him a lot.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go back to my winning car number, because really there's just not. I mean, there's a lot. There is a lot, but there's not a lot that I like. So this is where I'm going. And this is just me doubling down on the guy that I'm going to pick outright anyways, because obviously Zilisch, yeah, you're going to talk about him in a second, spoiler alert. But yeah, listen, it's been between these 2 guys, and I think the winning car number band between 0 and 9 at plus 130 is tempting enough for me, because it gets Justin Allgaier, which, hang tight. You'll hear a little bit more. But it also gives you Sheldon Creed if he accidentally wins a race. I already poo-pooed him, but if he ends up winning a race on accident.
I always wondered, is 0-0 after 0 or before 0, Rod? Do we have an official ruling? If you're betting this on Caesars, you might want to ask. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, you better, because you don't know.
They'll get you on until 0-0 comes before 0 in this particular numbering system, so we can't pay this bet out.
Yeah, you might want to double check for sure. Okay, fine. It doesn't get you Creed unless it does get you Creed. But
it probably does.
It definitely gets you Carson Kvapil, who we talked about, JRM, obviously one of the better ones. It gets you Jesse Love, who we just talked about, one of the better top 5 drivers, top 10 drivers in the series right now. It gets you Justin Allgaier, and it gets you Sammy Smith, another junior motorsports driver. So it's not eye-popping, but when you look at the other options out there, like the odd or the even number bet is like minus 150, and then the over whatever the number it's set at, I think it's like 18 or something, 18 and a half is where the number is. Over 18 and a half, it's like minus 170. It's not worth it because they're obviously caving a lot on Connor Zilisch. I know, I get it.
I looked so hard at that because it was 18 and a half, so you get Almirola and you get Zilisch.
Yeah.
I peaked. I didn't put it on there, but I peaked.
You're paying a lot of juice, though. I mean, I know you only play the juice if you lose, but like at some point, if Justin Allgaier ends up winning this race, then you just drink the juice that you didn't want to drink. So, but yeah, give me the winning car number 0 to 9 plus 130.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind this except for the fact that Connor Zilisch is going to win this race and he's 3 to 1. How do you not bet Connor Zilisch at this point? Yeah. You know, last week we were overly cautious. We didn't like the minus 125 because of the injury thing. I stand by that. But also looking back, it was too easy, and we should have probably been on it. But also get that last lap deal there. There's a good. I think we were corrected why we didn't bet it, but we told you he'd probably win anyways, and of course he did. But how do you not bet him at 3 to 1 to win this race? I mean, he's won 4 in a row. Now, granted, you know, Kligerman was in the 88 car for one of those, whatever. He still counts as the technical winner. He's won 6 of the last 7 races. Now, granted, the one close comp track to this he didn't win was Iowa, 4th place, but he led 62 laps that day. I don't remember what happened in that one, but I think there was either a penalty or something where he had to kind of fight back. But this kid's just been absolutely on a tear. I mean, if you go all the way back to, let's go back to Charlotte on May 24th and just go through his results. 2nd place at Charlotte. Then he was 2nd place at Nashville, kind of a similar comp track to this, you know, in a way. They went to Mexico City where he was, you know, battling it out with SVG there, and then, or who was he battling out? I don't think SVG was in the Mexico race, was he? No, he wasn't. He got wrecked with somebody, but fought all the way back and ended up with a 5th place finish there. Had a great day. Then they went to Atlanta where he finished in 4th place. Then they went to Chicago where he finished in 2nd. Then he won at Sonoma, outdueling SVG there. Then he won at Dover. Then he was 4th at Iowa. Then he won at Indy. Then he won at Watkins Glen. Then he sort of won at Daytona. Then he won at Portland. Like, it is just, Ty Gibbs is who it was. That TK is just, his memory is great. Love you, TK. Thank you. But it's just been the Connor Zilisch show ever since really the quote unquote All-Star break. They took All-Star week off. And since they came back, it's been all him. And he, through the broken collarbone and everything, it's not slowed him down. Why is it going to stop now? I don't really see why it would. And it's not just been, obviously we've had a lot of road courses, right? Portland and Watkins Glen and Sonoma and Chicago and all this, but he's been good other places. He won at Dover. He was great at Iowa. And you go back and you look through his laps led at all these tracks, like tons of laps led. You know, Portland was all 70 laps last week. But even at some of these other ones, you know, Indy, he led 19 laps. Iowa, he led 62, 77 at Dover. You know, going back to Pocono, rather, he led 34, 18 in Nashville. He's been the guy. We told you coming into the season, he was going to be the guy. He's been more than the guy than we even thought. He's smashing all the records, breaking everything. I mean, the fact that you're still getting a 3 to 1 is he's won 4 in a row, 6 of the last 7. How do you not bet him at this point in time? And I think he's the guy. You just go in and you bet Zilisch. I'm going to toss one insurance play. There's not even a lot I like in the outright market, which if you listen to this show for the last 671 episodes, that doesn't happen very often. But I'm so much sold on that. It's just probably Zilich's day. I think that's how you go. I'm going to toss in some Taylor Gray at 18 to 1 because I love him. I think he's capable of doing it. He's in a JGR car. You know, I meant to look at William Sawalich's outright number. Do we know what William Sawalich's outright number is? Because I might want to pivot on the show here and just get full in on my boy here, Mr. William Sawalich.
You're going to lift that car lift up a little bit and kind of get the jack underneath the car?
Okay, I'll get back to you on that because for some reason.
Okay. Well, then I'll give you my outright, which should be no surprise. Obviously, I like Connor Zilisch 3-1. You can't hate that one. His teammate also at 3-1. I mean, Connor Zilisch has 8 wins this season. Justin Allgaier, a just distant second at 3. Obviously, Austin Hill right there at 3 as well. But, again, it just feels like it's always come down to Justin Allgaier and Connor Zilisch when it comes to who's going to end up winning this race. Obviously, Zilisch is the guy that's been the one who's been doing it lately. But lest we forget, Justin Allgaier's been an old man at this game. And, in fact, he's one of the only drivers on the track with actual experience here in an Xfinity car. By the way, in 2010, Justin Allgaier drove the number 12 Roger Penske car, the Verizon Wireless Xfinity car. Started on the pole, ended up finishing in 3rd after leading 88 laps of that race. Other 2 starts, not really memorable. Crashed out of the 2010 spring race and finished 25th. And then in 2009, finished 11th in that Verizon Wireless Penske 12. But, again, it's Justin Allgaier. We all know his accolades, 15 top 10s, 12 top 5s, 3 wins this season. I don't feel like I have to go too far into Justin Allgaier that we haven't already. He won at Vegas, won at Homestead. He won at Nashville, which is something we talk about being close. 4th at Dover. Another comparable track. Like I said, really hate using that phrase. But, 3rd at Bristol, 3rd at Darlington, 3rd at Martinsville. 5th at Phoenix. It's Justin Allgaier. If I have to sit here and make a case for you, obviously Connor Zilisch at 3-1 is a much better proposal, but I think Allgaier at 3-1 is still just as good.
Even in 2010, Allgaier was older than most of the field in Xfinity is now. I have a question for you, Rod. If I didn't put Zilisch in here before you got to the dock at 3-1, would you have picked Zilisch or would you have picked Allgaier?
100% I would have picked Zilisch. 100%.
There you have it. Bet on Zilisch. He is the guy. And like TK said, the 88 car is just the best car in the field. And I think that's hands down is the case. The car, they figured it out. The drivers obviously figured it out. It's the perfect combination. They're hitting on absolutely everything. So, and similar to the JGR 20 car, we did see that a lot last year with a bunch of different drivers in that one. So, and then Sawalich, by the way, 40-1 is what I'm seeing. Up to 66-1, Ash is saying over on Bovada. So, I'm going to officially add an insurance play on William Sawalich because, fast JGR car. He's finding his footing. Maybe he's the next Connor Zilisch.
TK, I can confirm that in 2010, Allgaier was 24 years old, still older than most of the field right now. Wow. So, yeah. He was born in 86, right? So that's for 2010. Yeah, right? So 2010, that's 10. Add to carry the 1, 2. Yes, that's 24. Okay, good. So
the meme with all the numbers going around all over the place. Yeah, close enough.
Math sucks, but all right. Well then, get out your pen and paper. Let's go over our bets for this New Way 200 sauced by Blues Hog from the World Wide Technology Raceway in Gateway. I started you out with Jesse Love over Sheldon Creed, the 2 versus the 00 at -115. I then followed up with Carson Kvapil over Brandon Jones at -115. Gave you Christian Eckes as a top 10 car at +110. Sam Mayer, top 5 car at +175. So the winning car number would be between 0 and 9 at +130. Gave you Justin Allgaier to kind of double down on that one at 3-1. Cody gave you Ryan Sieg over Carson Kvapil at -110. Gave you Taylor Gray, not Tanner Gray, as a top 5 car at +225. Then William Sawalich as a top 10 car at +110. Gave you Connor Day as a top 10 car at +125. Hemrick, top 10, +275. Dean Thompson, top 10 at 12-1. Gave you Zilisch as a top Chevy at +190. Zilisch to win at 3-1. Gray to win at 18-1. And a late addition, which is not on this, but is on the dock, William Sawalich. So it is official. 40-1 to win the New Way 200. There it is, Cody. I'm so glad we were able to get the Xfinity show in on time today. This is great. I like when we can do that.
Yeah. We even kicked it off a little bit earlier than we had planned on the books. Had the odds up for us. Shout out to ESPN getting the top 10s up nice and early, giving us a shot, giving us great selection. Gotta love everything. It all went off just fine, so you gotta love that. Also, as JDK is calling out here. Austin Cindric is going to go race some supercars, Rod.
Woo.
The former Daytona 500 winner will race a supercars event in Adelaide, Australia. We're going to roll with that at the end of November. Became the blah, blah, blah. This year's circuit. Okay, yeah. We know when the NASCAR season ends. We know what supercars is.
Adelaide has a good footy team, by the way, just so you know.
There you go. So, yeah, love it.
Charles saying we went from fading every head-to-head Sawalich to looking for his outrights. Crazy world we live in.
Man, that is the one thing I've been betting on NASCAR for quite some time now. That's the thing that I've learned more than anything. And the joke kind of came up in the Discord. I think it was yesterday. Ty Tiger was mentioning about Hemrick, the guy who shall not be named. He was the first guy that was that, which we've had like 10 since then. But you got to be quick to adjust on these guys. We had a couple of years ago, Denny Hamlin was fade every single fucking. We were just making bank, and then the switch flipped, and we turned, and suddenly we were betting on him every single week. And you can't be stubborn, and you have to know when to adjust. You got to know when to get off of it. Sometimes you go a little bit longer, you test it out, right? They got to prove it to you. But once they do, and Sawalich really, even more so than Day, has really shown it to us. I mean, I made so much fucking money off him earlier this year, just fading him every single head-to-head I could find, and they were all cashing. And then that well dried up, and he started to perform well. We flipped it over, and now we've been making money on the top fives, the top tens. You have to be fluid in this. And we like to joke a lot of, we don't like that guy, or we're not betting on that guy or whatever, but we're here to make money. And even Rod put Carson Osevar on his sheet last week. So, or no, Ty Gibbs. It was that sweet, but
I put them both.
Either way,
it was a head-to-head.
But yeah, that's all right.
Well, and that'll be the last time I ever do that on either one of them again, ever. So let's just there'll be no growing.
So Carson Osevar wins this week, cashes the entire car lift, and Rod's forced to bet on him in the near future.
No, thank you. All right. Speaking of which, I'm going to go put myself to bed because the thought of that just makes me absolutely.
Ash got to get to bed too. I think it's about close to 1 a.m. there. So yeah.
All
Good
right,
night, Ash. Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, bud. Sweet dreams of cashing all the tickets. So
that's right.
All right, Cody. Well, then tomorrow we will come back with DFS. Let's probably do it for both series, shall we? Since we can, we can do that for both series. Let's do it for both series. And we'll make that a thing. Yeah. So, all right, tomorrow come back with DFS, and we'll have some fun with you guys tomorrow. Right?
Absolutely. In the meantime, Rod, you can follow me over on the X at @Husker_Z, where you can find all my stuff. NFL prop stuff. I'm going to be on a radio show later on today. I'll tweet out that YouTube link for that if you want to join as well. I'll drop it in the Discord also. So, join me for that. NFL stuff, NASCAR stuff, college football, all the above over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. You can find all those on my X as well. See you all in the Discord, and see you tomorrow for some fantasy talk.
Yes, sir. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio to all the crazy stuff I've got going on. Sports you've probably never heard about or cared about until now. And, all kinds of great stuff up to and including this show and all my fun.
Two more things before we go, too, by the way. First of all, happy birthday to Marcus, because it is his birthday today, Rod.
That's right. Happy birthday,
and I forgot to wish everybody once again happy Carson Osevar.
Oh, my God. Get out of here. All right. See you tomorrow for some DFS where I will not talk about the 77. Until then, let's go racing and let it ride.